It's a hand sanitizer. Oh, there it is. Oh, hopefully we were 10 seconds in before I did that. Sorry, YouTube.
We were. We were 11 seconds.
Yes! Usually my intro covers me. All right, guys, I'm going to make this pretty quick because I got a virtual graduation to attend. Hopefully today. My nephew's graduating, and we couldn't make the trip all the way there, so we're going to attend virtually to show some support. So what do we have here? Well, Caleb tells me this is our clutch number 4. It should be our scaleless blast, or scaleless blast. Jesus Christ. Let me try it again. Our lemon blast scaleless head bred to our fire yellow belly. So, honestly, don't know what we're going to get here. What we're looking at, this is what's going to make this interesting, is this egg on my far right. For your camera, it may not be your far right. It's that one. So you look at that egg, it's kind of a fugly egg, man. It'll look real good. A lot of these had a lot of dirt stuck to them. It almost looks like she pooped on them when she laid them. I don't know what's going on with some of these. But what's going to be really interesting to see how this one comes out. The shell feels nice and soft. I cheated a little bit. There are blood vessels in there, so I can tell you one of two things has happened. Either A, this is a good egg, and it's just ugly, which is possible. Don't throw out, looks, all this is just kind of discoloration. It's pretty surface. There's a little bit of mold, but no big deal, because it didn't infect anything else. This is kind of a uglier egg. You get a little bit of this crap on it. That's pretty normal too sometimes, no worries. But, so it's either just an ugly egg, and it's going to be just fine, or this is a baby that passed late in development. Either one of those is a possibility, because sometimes they turn to shit like that if that happens. What would cause that? Usually a developmental issue of some sort. But it doesn't look too bad. Well, ooh, man, I hope that might have been a good sign. Whoa, that was almost bad, y'all. That was almost a catastrophe. This is when you film live, That's the crap you did it out if you weren't going live. All right, Caleb, how many we got on here? Is it time to cut these?
We have 29 viewers.
Congratulations on being the first 29. I'm going to lower the table down to suit my needs. We're going to start hacking and a chopping. So what are we really looking for here? A scaleless head would be nice, but really this was kind of this is my girl that we had to do the egg implosion on years and years ago. So just getting her up. And I think it was 4 eggs and a slug she laid. Or do you remember?
I don't remember.
I guess we should give that data. So anyway, I'm going to get that out so I can get that data for you guys really quick before we start hacking these eggs. So it was more just I didn't really have anything that was a project for her. Like it wasn't like, oh, this is what I'm doing with her right now. But she's a viable breeder. She produced last year for me. So there's no reason she couldn't produce again this year. Her size was even better than everything else. I know there's some talk out there about, oh, we should all lower our production. Well, if you want to lower the production, that's fine. And if you have a problem where you can't sell anything, maybe you should. I don't have that problem. So I'm not going to lower my production, okay? I'll lower my production when I'm producing more than I can sell. That day hasn't come yet. There's some tricks to that. One, and this is the biggest thing I can tell you guys, okay? Biggest thing. This isn't an anti-morph market or anti-show or none of that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to sales. Don't say, well, I'm going to produce these snakes and sell them all on Morph Market. Or I'm going to produce these snakes, and I don't want to deal with Morph Market, so I'm going to sell them all at shows. Or however you're going to do it. You need to be prepared to sell to multiple sources. Man, we use some wholesale, some local shops. We'll just sell some stuff too after we are finished with Patreon or finished with the show that's not really worth, throwing on Morph Market. Like a bunch of normals, things like that. Maybe a pastel here and there or a spider here and there. We'll use shows and we'll use Patreon. Patreon first, always, then shows. I will use Morph Market if I ever need to. I just really haven't needed to. But I'm not against it. And that's the thing. That's why I tell you, I don't have trouble selling yet. If I'm ever hitting all those avenues and I can't sell my animals, then okay. Until then, I'm not overproducing because I'm still selling everything. That's how economics work, Like, I guarantee you, Ford would not make as many F-150s if they couldn't sell them all. But they sell them all, so they crank out as many of them sons of bitches as they can, right? That's how it works, y'all. And that's how it should work. So, not a problem. Anybody asking questions about that as we go off this little mini rant? If they do, man, just holler them out.
Curtis is at home. Someone asked where Curtis is. He is at home.
Curtis doesn't live here, y'all. He has his own house. It's usually about a 40-minute drive from here because he decided to buy the wrong opposite end of being out of town. We both are country boys, so I bought a place north of town. We bought the reptiles, and he bought a place south of town. So he has a little bit of a commute. Right now, it's all a commute because of road construction. So he doesn't come up here every day. He comes up here on feed nights and film nights, and if we need him. And then he takes care of all the rats and boas at his place, and we take care of all the ball pythons here. This was, in fact, a fire yellow blaze scales head to a lemon blast, and we had exactly 4 eggs, no slugs. So this is all of them, guys. Woohoo! We'll save that one for last, just in case. This is another little pro tip. Pro tip by Matt. If you've got this kind of eggs and you got one that's a little suspect, save it for last. Here's why. Because if it's odoriferous, you don't want to have to smell that when you cut the other ones, right? So save it for last so you don't have to smell it as long. I think it's fine, but at least it'll be fine from the standpoint I don't think it's going to smell bad, but I think the baby's got a good chance of being okay too. We're going to start over here. This isn't the prettiest of egg, but I have pretty high hopes for it. Oh man, these are thick shelled. I did do a quick candle. I can tell you that one does have decent vein work in it still. Well, right off the bat, we're looking good. About due for some new scissors. So that is obviously pinstripe. Don't know about scaleless head or anything else in there. Man, that baby fills that egg. Look at that. Whoo, doggies. But good movement. Good sized baby for the egg. All looks well. So that kind of confirms dad, right? So I'll move right down the line. Again, Kev, if you got a question that comes in, just shout it out. This one cut a little easier. That's good. Well, that's pretty. Oh, I don't even need to poke that one. It's all twitchy in there. I just like the color of that. There's definitely pastel going on. There's probably something else in there with it. See how dark and rich those blacks are? That's really nice. So I like that egg. All right. A little bit of a bloody one. The scaleless head is the thing that we likely will not be able to tell in the egg until they're out. But I mean, oh, this one's alive. I can see the shell moving around on my other side. All right, there's the face of that one. So that's probably my favorite one so far. Yeah, that's gorgeous in the egg. Now that's going to have, I can see the yellow belly from here.
For sure.
And I can see the pastel from here. Look at the color. It wouldn't surprise me if we got fire in there too. No pin. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Look at that thing doing its wiggle. And we can't see the head to see if it's scaleless head. That's a nice snake, though. I hope that's scaleless head.
I bet it is.
Caleb's like, I bet it is. We always hope, right? You know, and I know there's places that cut. We're always guilty of it. I mean, I was guilty of it too. Like, oh, that's gonna have everything in it. Like before it ever crawls out, you really don't know until these things are out of the egg. All right, y'all. Moment of truth. Let's take some wagers. What do we think? Good or bad?
I think the baby's in there. I don't think alive.
Oh, I think the baby's in there, but not alive.
Yeah.
So I think we had one that went almost term, and then
Yeah.
it's possible.
Could be wrong. So it looks like, I mean, it looks like an ugly egg, but still a decent egg. Most people are saying good.
Well, let's hope so. I hope y'all are right. There's a baby in there.
What do we run the incubator at?
We try to run it right about 90. Oh, that's a scaleless head. I know we can't tell on the egg, but on this one you can. Oh, it's good.
Hey.
So what we have here is, I'm right there at where the goo attaches, so I don't want to cut much more just because. But you definitely got pin, and you definitely got a really high expression scaleless head. And I think there's probably another gene going on in here. But that is a good baby. I can cut a little bit more like this for y'all. And this is why you don't throw out your ugly eggs.
How many pairings in a session do you have multiple confirm? How many pairings in a session do you have multiple confirmed locks but they don't go? I'm not really sure what that question is there, Chad.
Well, I mean, I didn't do it like we always track data, right? And we try to track more and more data as we go on. And I didn't do a really good job of tracking like locks last year nor this year. Like I can't tell you, oh, this one locked 5 times, this one locked 6 times. In my experience, when they lock, they're going to keep locking. When they don't, they don't. And we run our mails pretty hard. Like we get them locked and we keep them going. What I can tell you is, let me pull up something for you. I do track the pairs that were paired and didn't go. Now, some of these would have never locked, you know, they could have not gone for any kind of reason. Some of them just locked and didn't go, reabsorbed. Some of them were ones we paired kind of late, just trying to get them rolling, you know. And there's a good number of them last year. I mean, we had an Xanthic pinstripe bred to the killer zebra bee last year that didn't go. Now, she's already gone this year. We did the same pairing, so no worries about Dad. We did a lesser, oh shit. And this one had just gotten to size, I know that. A lesser pastel champagne to an inchy clown. It didn't go last year. We did one of her hellfires, didn't go last year, that did go this year. We had a champagne inchy to a lesser pastel. I think the champagne inchy was, or lesser pastel was a female. Champagne inchy was the male? No. It had to be the champagne inchy female. Yeah, had to be.
What was the pairing?
Champagne inchy to lesser pastel. I don't have a champagne inchy male. No. I don't own one. No. It's just on the female. And she didn't go. And we're pairing her again this year. And she's a female that's she's not a big female. She's of age and she's barely there at size and hasn't grown well, so I'm not holding. We did a pastel desert ghost to a pastel desert ghost and a fire desert ghost. That was really late in the year and a really small female, barely hit size. She didn't go. I don't think she's going to go this year either. I think she's a pain in my ass. A super Mojave to a mystic that didn't go. That was another one that was barely got to size late and you only paired a few times. This year I'm feeling a lot better out of it. At it. A ghost to a pastel super inchy vanilla ghost that didn't go. I think she will go this year, but we used a different male with her. It's a male that threw all slugs in the last clutch. I think she's going to do the same. Calico to Suma. That didn't go. That calico female, I think she already went this year. We did a Calibi to a pastel Xanthic that didn't go. Wherever the fuck 1706 was. Oh, that's a pastel Xanthic to a killer zebra bee, didn't go. A bumblebee to the scaleless head, that didn't happen. She's going this year. Mojave to a JHI that didn't go. That one we paired quite a bit, but then she had a little bit of a health problem. We had to stop pairing her and treat her, so we took her out of the rotation that year. She's back in it this year. We'll see. Another Mojave Het Desert Ghost to a Fire Desert, and that was another late pairing that was barely there. We only paired a few times. A Het Clown to a Banana that never materialized, and she goes about every other year. The Big Liar, the Orange Dream Pastel to a Pastel Xanthic. She's probably going to lie to me again this year. A Lesser Pastel Female to a Lesser Pastel Male. That didn't go last year. Yellow Belly Pastel Xanthic to a Super Pastel Xanthic. That one didn't go last year, did this year. Queen Bee to a Pastel Xanthic. She's ovulated already this year. And then a Lesser to a Lesser Pastel. So, and that was a big snake that should have went and just took a year off. So how many pairings there was, I don't know, but that's our list of total females that we paired and didn't go. There's probably about 5 or 6 of them there that I would have expected to go. The rest of them would have been like all a long shot, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was more, sounds worse to me than it is when I read it, but that's probably pretty par for the course of those many as we paired. I mean, we had over 40 ball python clutches too, and some of those were, yeah. Other questions?
On average, how many days after prelay shed should you be expecting eggs?
You know, usually it's about 30. 30 is about your average. I've had it as low as I think 15. And I've also had it go 45. I've had one lay eggs and shed. I've had them pre-lay shed again, and then lay eggs. Like, I've had them go pretty long. I mean, just, they can make you nervous. Look, your first few clutches, that first time you have a snake go 40 days, man, you're really going to be sweating it, okay? Just keep an eye on it. It's probably not an egg binding issue until you see it. You'll know, usually. And when in doubt, take it in. I mean, you know, there's vets that can help you with egg binding. If you have an entire clutch egg bound, that is not something you're likely going to treat well at home. I know we've talked about imploding that egg. That was a single egg that was stuck that we could move through the canal. When you have an entire thing bound up, it's not something I would recommend trying to do yourself. fortunately, we don't deal with that very often, thankfully. So, anything else?
So, just about it. No more questions.
All right, guys. 4 eggs, 4 live babies. Again, nothing too crazy. Just the no normals. Rehash,
No.
pinstripe, maybe something extra. Don't know. This one is at least pastel, but I don't know. I think there might be. We'll see. This one's beautiful. That was the one that we knew was yellow belly, pastel. Good chance there might be fire in there too. Oh, there's the head. I can't see if it's scaleless head or not. And then this one, which is at least a pin. Well, that head's really nice and blushed, but it doesn't look lemon blasty. We might have a fire pin there.
That'd be cool.
That is definitely scaleless head. One of the nicer expressions of it you're going to run into. Although scaleless head, I don't think the expression matters much as far as can it throw full scaleless. Of course, the full scaleless, the jury's still. Okay, look. We're going to do full scaleless. We've got one that's full-blown ovulation, probably actually slowing down now. I'm still in the camp that the jury's still out on the is it viable. Now, with that being said, the data doesn't look real good, but sometimes things like this take a while. It's been a long time, but when you look at it, Caleb and I sat and looked at it one day and really kind of thought about it, and the first few females are believed to have passed away.
They died in a fire.
So, like, that set that back a ways. So then you started over again, right? And then you had to make the females again and raise them up. They do take longer. So instead of 3 years, you're looking at 4 and 5 years. You can go on Morph Market right now. If you look for full-blown scaleless, you'll find some females that are 4 years old right at 1,000 grams. So it is more difficult to get them in there because they do shed a lot more, which causes some ball pythons not to feed, etc., etc. So that could be part of it as well. Now, we're getting to the point that if it is viable, we should see something. Like, I don't think for one moment that I'm going to be the guy that breeds and holds back a female and then I'm the first one to prove female. That's not what I'm getting at. I don't think that's my role in life. Although we will keep a female if we hit a full scaleless female for that purpose, because I think there is still a good chance somebody will do it. I haven't seen anything that suggests they won't. About the only thing that has any merit at all that I've seen, and again, it's all speculation. There's nothing confirmed one way or the other, has been the idea that since they don't form any scales, they don't form the needed keratin. Thank you. Which is an ingredient in the eggshell, not the whole eggshell, but it's an ingredient in the eggshell. It'd be keratin. So if they can't form the keratin, then they can't form eggs and have eggs. Is that possible? Sure. The foul there, the thing that gives me pause there, is there is a lot of other egg-laying snakes that have a scaleless form and produce eggs. Most of those do have some scales. Belly scales are typical. Ball pythons, one of the few with no belly scales. Okay, so that could be part of it. So that's why that still holds some viability. Is maybe the other ones can, but you would think if they produce a little keratin, they produce those belly scales, they'd have a much harder time producing the needed keratin for eggs. And that hasn't shown through. They produce eggs just fine. A scaleless corn produces eggs just as well as a normal corn. Same with a scaleless king. Same with the scaleless whatever. I'm not sure if keratin's used in any other products on a snake. That would be something probably to look into. I haven't done that research, or in the body. Obviously for us it's used in fingernails and hair. I don't think it's used in any type of bone or teeth or anything like that. So it's, that's not a thing, but they're different than us. So I still think it's possible. We may have just had a long, slow play. And then so many people bailed on it, because of certain issues that also slows it down. So we should see a female on eggs. If it's going to happen, I would say soon. Shouldn't take too much longer. But sometimes on those new projects that are vastly different, where you actually have an animal that is different beyond just the color, it's going to take a little while longer to sort it out, because we're going to have to learn how to care for that animal, to raise it, to get better results. And I think that might have been part of the issue early on. Now, there is precedence for some ball pythons with certain genetics not being able to lay eggs. That precedence is in desert, where desert goes egg bound every time they're bred. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I'm not convinced 100% one way or the other. That's where I'm at. So, all right, anything else before we get off of here? All right, well, let's go ahead and hop over to Patreon. We'll see you all next time.